So thanks for all the lovely comments and suggestions on what to do with the ultimate plywood. They were really imaginative and fun, from the toothpick to the computer mouse. Although I didn't really appreciate the gun handle suggestion. I just don't like guns, no matter how much crafter skill goes into making one. Simple as that. So you must all want to know what I'm going to make, and it's actually an egg cup holder. But it's going to look a little different, maybe a little bit modern. And no one ever got killed with an egg cup holder before, so we should all be safe. Anyway, I'll crack on and let you know the winner of the mouse mat at the end. Okay, so I'm going to test the G-code file out on this bit of laminated ply. Obviously it's very similar, so I should be able to gauge the effect quite well. And I'm going to be using a bull-nosed bit. This is a 1/4 inch bull-nosed 2-flute bit. So I'm just going to change that over now and do the test carve. Just in case you didn't know what I was going to do, I'm doing a test cut. So I found it difficult to figure out how to make a hemisphere in any of the software I had available. ArtsCam is a bit of a scam, as with many of the other program softwares, because you have to constantly buy expensive modules to just do that little bit extra. So I decided to use easel and program a series of circular cuts at varying depths and diameters, which should create a similar shape. The first attempt looked more conical with very defined steps, but I kind of like the effect. So I'm going to need to increase the resolution, maybe do each step down at 1.5 millimeters and maybe reduce it down even further for the center. I mean, I kind of like the idea of it panning out a little bit around the edge, but I could always do that with a roundover bit afterwards. It doesn't all have to be done on this. So I'm using the offset tool and spacing around 14 circles at 1.5 millimeters from the center. I separated the individual rings and manually adjusted the cutting depths, again by 1.5 millimeters, and centered them all. I want to try get 2 egg cup holders out of this block of ultimate plywood. A little ridge or lip here where I must have written the calculation, the depth, incorrectly. I think I need to go grab an egg just to see whether this even holds one. I kind of like the fact that there's a kind of shadow around the egg, a shadow gap. I feel like this would have been better size-wise. Decision making. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I identified the incorrect toolpath and CNC'd one more test. I did this at 4 times the feed rate I intended the final job, as there's little point waiting around. It cut correctly and I was happy with the effect, so it was time to have a go with the ultimate ply. Before I did, I made sure I cut the piece into 2 equal halves, taking the blade thickness into account, and then positioned it on the wasteboard between 4 pieces of scrap ply. The front of the block being parallel with the front of the wasteboard. I began by setting the home position of the machine to the edge of the ply, but this was causing problems and the initial pass seemed off center. I decided to start again and home from the center of the block. So what I've done is I've centered the circles on 0, which means I can actually start by placing the bit on the center of the material, which I can obviously easily measure. There's a little notch underneath the bit, which I should be able to line up on there, and at least my thinking is by working from the center of the file and on the material, any proportional errors will look even. Well, I'm bloody relieved that worked. It looks really nice. I'm going to do the second one now, give it a sand, make sure there's no glue on anything, and then I'll have to decide how to finish it, whether to use oil or some sort of spray varnish. So providing these are the same size, and it looks like they are, I should be able to use the same home position. Okay, so that's number 2, and it looks pretty much the same as the first one, which is relief. No, I'm going to have to just tidy up now. I think that's the plan. Okay, here they are. Kind of like eyes, like owl eyes. The base veneer is bird's eye maple, and the top layer is a species called Castello. So if that was important to you, now you know. 47 species of veneer just to hold an egg. Okay, so I've just given them a couple coats of lacquer, spray lacquer. I think I'm going to need to do a few more and sand them as I go along, but I think they look pretty nice. You can kind of see a bit of a shine to it because it is satin, but that's what it's meant to look like. Okay, so I should announce the winner, although I've decided to actually give 2 mouse mats out, and they're going to go to David Hall, who suggested the toothpick, because that really did make me laugh, and also to Christiana from Get Hands Dirty for the mouse suggestion, because after all I was giving a mouse mat away. It would have been pretty impressive if I could have made this into a mouse, but I just didn't have the confidence to risk it, to be honest. But I'm really happy with these egg cup holders. If you'd like to see me using them at some point, I'll probably upload some pictures on Instagram, so check out the link in the description, and you may get to see these in action.